think society has been developed in America to where this is not an accident. This is happening. This is planned. Just like the prison system is not an accident. The prison systems were planned and developed in order to create a counterculture that is not supporting of the type of society that America needs to be
if I can control what you watch, and if I can control how much you get to eat, and if I can control how much you get to spend to live or purchase the house, if I can control you through debt, which is what I give you or what I don't give you, what your money's worth or what your money is not worth, if I can control the finances of everything you do, credit, card, we'll just say credit or debit. If I can control the credit or debit of your life, you are my slave. Slavery hasn't stopped since Egypt for anyone, because slavery is not one race controlling another. It's one value system controlling another value system. And depending on which value system you are under, which means which currency system you're under, determines how much slavery you are under. If your value is 1-to-1, you're not under much slavery. If your value is 1 to 1,400, you are absolutely in slavery, which is the secret to entire of Africa, Mexico, all those countries. When I can devalue your worth through your currency, I own you. And when I own you, I can determine whether you are successful or not, whether you are a man or not. And then I can pay to determine whether you want to be feminine or not. Everything is controlled by how I control what you're worth. And that's what
the idea of worth is society dictates that. You know, right. Are you rich if you have one TV? Are you rich if you have two TVs? Are you rich if you have one car or two cars? Do you need this or do you need that? So society tells you, so there's no amount of money or wealth you can hardly get unless you're in the very top 1% of the world's wealth that can actually meet the goals that society requires to say you're wealthy. You know, it's what was that deal to where it said, you know, if you have money in your pocket, you have some money in the bank, you have change in a dish somewhere, you're among the world's top 8% income person. You know, we don't realize that 80% of the world lives off of $2 a day. So so now in America, our whole value system is skewed because we don't understand this. If we're not making, we're not making all of this type of money to produce even the illusion of this lifestyle, we're not successful and we're not happy. They just give up to the point to where there's nothing I can do. If I can't have 2 cars, this house, 4 TVs, a Nintendo game or whatever it is nowadays, you know what I'm saying? But, so they have this whole entire value system and they have to create a wage system that is worth so much money that, these smaller countries can outcompete us with hourly wages, because their philosophy is they don't need these kind of stuff. Give me a roof and some rice and corn, and I'm happy.
So where we're at in the world today is everything is basically controlled by the petrodollar. We say what you are worth. All right. Well, now 60% of the world has said, we don't care what you say we are worth. We're going to determine what our own worth is. And you have all these crypto markets. You have Bitcoin worth $30,000-$40,000 to one American dollar or whatever. You've got Iraq. If you take $1, you can get 14 or around 1,100 Iraqi dollars. The peso versus the dollar. If you go around and look at the trend of the financial market, and this is still with your mice deal. We're just expanding the mice of the female mice versus the male mice, the weak mice. All we're doing is applying it to a country, but we're applying it to a country using a monetary scale. And so what the Golem of Vilna says and what the Kol HaTorah says and what Deuteronomy, I think it's 25:14 right in there says, it says this, that the Mashiach cannot come unless the currency of the world is 1-to-1. Okay? 1-to-1. This is the, I might have to go pull a book out right quick, but because I want to make sure we source it. But what this means is this. The world has used currency to enslave mankind. In turn, you are measured by your wealth. But the more wealth you have, the softer you become. The less you have, the harder you become. But then you get a mentality of, this person owes me this, and this person owes me. I want my money. You owe me. All right. Then it's twisted into racism. It's not. It's the same system that has always run for never not. It's not a new system. It's a financial system. And the financial
It's
system,
the way the finances have always worked.
The financial system doesn't have anything to do with color. The financial system has to do just with the countries that they deal with. Okay? So you may have come from a country that has been under financial rule and come to a new country that the same rule is under. That is the world system. Has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the system. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the system. So Mashiach in and of itself cannot come until all the balances are equal in my house, says Hashem. There cannot be two separate measurements in my house, says Hashem. So all of these people that are investing in all these different markets and this and that and the other, because it's $30,000 over here to one and they are going to lose their minds and all the money. Because it's going to go to 1-to-1.
Is this where we're going about a single currency in the world? If we go to a single currency, what is that? Is that this 1-to-1 you're talking about?
it's not going to be a single currency. Everybody can have their own currency. We can have the dollar, they can have the ruble, they can have the shekel, they can have the dinar, they can have the yen, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you call your currency, but your currency, or peso, your currency is going to be equal to my currency, because if it's not, slavery will exist. Financial slavery will exist.
But see, the concept is that what the Talmud and the story about when the idolater asked the sages, who is rich, and the sages answered him, the man who is satisfied with his lot in life. And that's what it's nothing about how much money you have or how much physical thing is you are rich if you're satisfied with your lot in life. Mm-hmm. And that is what the Torah and the Talmud and all this, the value system that is trying to teach over the monetary system. You're free if you're satisfied with your lot in life.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me go see if I can find this source, because grab a Humash or Tanakh and look at Deuteronomy 25:14. Yeah, just real quick.
Deuteronomy. What? Deuteronomy 25:14?
I think so.
All right, it says...
I'm making a good stab at it.
Okay. Deuteronomy 25:14 says, you shall not have in your house a measure and a measure. Hold on.
That's it.
And you shall not have in your house a measure and a measure, a large one and a small one.
There you go. So what the Gaon of Vilna says is that Mashiach cannot come until all currencies and all values of all money are equal 1-to-1. So what we are seeing right now in our world is the taking down of the global financial system. Why are we seeing that? Because we're getting close to Mashiach. Because every country's money has to be equal to every other country's money. As the Torah of Hashem says, you cannot have equal values in your house, one large, one small. This is Kol HaTorah. So, what we are going through right now is what the mainstream would call racism is an unbalanced value system. If everything has a value balanced system, there is no such thing as racism. They use the ability to manipulate the value of currency, whether it's what we pay you an hour, what we pay you for a job, what I think I'm worth, what you think you're worth. All
what
worth,
you need to live on.
Everything. All worth is determined by the value of currency. Now, if you cannot manipulate the value of currency, you cannot manipulate worth of a person. This is the secret of the matter.